Hello everyone! We are now again in our quarter 3 and this time the learning activity sheet number 2. So here is the Melc for number 2. Describe the feedback mechanisms that are involved in regulating processes in the menstrual cycle. We have 3 targets for this LAS. Number 1, identify the hormones as well as the parts involved in the menstrual cycle. Number 2, explain the feedback mechanisms that are involved in the menstrual cycle. Then last, you will be devising a menstrual cycle plan. But before that, let us have first a short activity. Get your notebook, then you may pause this for a while. Answer these 4 questions by a fact or a myth. Alright, you're done with the answering. Let's proceed. On average, an ovary releases only one egg every 28 days. What controls this timing? Hormones. Hormone controls many of the changes in the reproductive system. Remember that hormones are chemicals that affect certain body organs. The monthly changes that take place in the female reproductive system, we call that as menstruation. And this cycle happens every month, from the first onset, which could happen when a female is about 10 to 13 years old, and this cycle continues for about 40 years. This is the diagram that shows what happens during menstrual cycle. Let us see what are the important events during the menstrual cycle. First, the pituitary gland, which is here. It is found in the brain. The pituitary gland is the one that starts and controls the cycle. The pituitary gland will secretes a hormone called the GnRH, or we call that as the gonadotrophin stimulating hormone, that will start or cause the egg in the ovary to mature. It will release LH, the luteinizing hormone, will initiate the maturation of the follicle, converts ruptured follicle into corpus luteum, and causes the secretion of progesterone. And the other hormone secreted is the FSH, or the follicle stimulating hormone, will assist in the maturation of the follicle and causes naman yung secretion ng estrogen from the follicle. So we have here now estrogen, and the estrogen now will, the ovary itself will release a hormone now, that hormone is called estrogen. The estrogen's role is to thicken or increase the thickness of the uterine lining. Papakapalin yung uterine lining. The uterine lining will become thicker so that the fertilized egg can attach to it. If there will be fertilized egg na mag-a-attach dan, that will be the seed bed for the fertilized egg. The ovary will release an egg now. So the ovary will release an egg now on the day 14. Assuming that there is no egg present, so pag assuming that there's no sperm rather present, magtutulo siya, or it will flow. The egg will move through the oviduct and enters the uterus. Magfo-flow siya kasama ng blood. Ano? So the thick uterine lining will no longer necessary. So the thickened uterine lining breaks off and leaves the vagina, and the unfertilized egg is lost. Some blood are also lost too. And that loss of cell from the uterine lining, loss of blood and egg, tinatawag natin siyang menstruation. How about if there is a sperm? The egg is fertilized. So if there is an egg fertilized, the fertilized egg will stay on the uterus. The fertilized egg will be staying there. Ito na po yung summary ng mga important events. Okay? From the pituitary gland down to the flowing of blood. So, if the egg is fertilized, it will travel down to the uterus and the pregnancy starts. Pero pag wala, it will continues to flow every 28 days. This time, you will explain these 4 questions in your notebook. You may pause this for a while and answer the 4 questions. Number 1 question, which hormones causes the egg in the ovary to mature? Pangalawang tanong, ano naman yung hormone na nagkukos para magkapal, magtiken yung uterine lining to prepare if there will be fertilized egg. Ano? Number 3, ano naman yung ganap? What happened sa FHS is not released? What will happen if the FSH is not released? Okay, FSH is the follicle stimulating hormone. Number 4, which hormones are responsible for menstrual cramps? Okay, then let's move on with the elaboration. So we have here a feedback mechanism is just a process by which the level of one substance influences the level of the other substance. A negative feedback affects the production of hormones in the menstrual cycle. High-level hormones may exhibit the production of another hormone. So, kaya nga sinasabi natin, why is it hindi ka pa nagkakaroon when you are under stress because the pituitary gland is not yet secreting its hormone. Over-secretion or under-secretion of hormones such as the GnRH, FSH, and LH, it will definitely affect your menstrual or body menstruation. So that is what we call as mechanism or feedback mechanism. Okay, so here you will be answering these questions again in your notebook about FSH. Okay, looking on the diagram before this slide. Based on those diagram, explain also the relationship of the ovarian cycle with the menstrual cycle. Okay. Then for your evaluation part, all you have to do is to get these materials and the diagram that is the diagram for female reproductive system attached to your last receive the learning activity sheet. Then follow this procedure. Part A is for no fertilization. Part B is for with fertilization. Then we have here the guide question to be answered in a tablet paper. Just present your answer. And your answer, your output will be given points according to this rubric. Okay, so that will be all for today. And thank you again. See you next time.